Hello students, welcome to the next current affairs series. Now we are starting our June month. Now we have already done October month, November month. Now I'll be starting our June month current affairs series, right? Okay, so before starting that, I will also let you know that after the June month finishes on our YouTube channel, after recording all the 5 videos of all 5 sessions, we'll be also covering starting with our impetus series again. Now this time we'll be starting 2 simultaneous series, one on the modern history personalities and other will be on the some ancient texts that are in the news that already been asked in the examination and hold a probability of being asked again, right? So please do check that out because that is also highly relevant for your prelims preparation, right? Okay, now starting our June session. So first session, um, June month. So we'll be starting with our indexes, committees, person in news, and finally the tribes which are in the news. And we also cover today PVTG tribes, that is particularly vulnerable tribal groups, right? Okay, now we'll come to the indexes and reports which are from the international domain. The first index is World Drug Report 2019. Now, so basically, it is released by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. Okay, and this particular organization is the global leader in the fight against the illicit crime, against the drugs and the international crime. Don't have to remember the year name, that is why I've crossed it here. 1997, you don't have to remember. Okay, its mandate is to assist the member state in their struggle against the illicit drugs, crimes and terrorism. In the next class, in the July month location, I'll also cover the golden triangle and golden crescent because they are highly relevant in the in India is between those two areas. Okay. Next is Global Peace Index. So Global Peace Index is released by the Institute of Economics and Peace. Institute of Economics and Peace, an Australian think tank. How you should remember all these things, all these indexes I told you, just remember the indexes given by World Bank, World Economic Forum, UNCTAD, IMF and all these. So you remember that these are not from these prominent institutions. So that is why, for example, Global Peace Index will nowhere feature in these indexes, right? So you'll realize that this is not from the prominent indexes. Now, if the options come, the option, for example, option comes Global Peace Index by which organization? The option will be first World Bank, two World Economic Forum. There will be that. I'm telling you. For example, peace is there, then they will ask Nobel Prize, Peace Prize Committee or something. Remember, not by a prominent organization. So the final 1 or 3 option will be this institute only. Now you'll recall, okay, this is not from the big institute, so it must be from the small institutes, and I have already seen that. I have already read that, and then you will catch it up. Okay, who is the first country? The least country is Afghanistan. Okay, next Syria, then South Sudan, and all these. Highest will be of the Iceland, right? What is India's rank? So India has slipped 5 places to 141 on the global. India has slipped 5 places to 141 on the global peace index. Iceland tops again. Afghanistan is the least peaceful country, followed by replacing Syria. That means followed by Syria. Syria was earlier number 1. Now Syria has become number 2. Next is global financial stability report, right? It is released by IMF, International Monetary Fund. Okay, it discusses the current conditions, especially the financial and the structural imbalances that could risk an upset in the global financial stability. Okay, so IMF, Global Financial Stability Report by the IMF. Okay, a similar report in India, very easy from the name itself, Global Financial Stability Report. And who is taking care of it? IMF. Okay, and a similar report in India is by the RBI, Financial Stability Report. Okay, similar report on these lines only. It discusses, it's a very generic statement, discusses risks to the financial stability, resilience of the financial system, issues pertaining to development and the regulation of the financial sector. Okay, by RBI. Next is Trafficking in Person Report 2019. So it is issued by the US State Department. Okay, US specific report is there. Just like Special 301 report, remember? Similarly, this report is there. India is placed in tier 2, which include those countries whose government do not fully meet the TVPA. We'll discuss what TVPA is. So that is their legislation passed in their parliament minimum standard. So their legislation TVPA, it has some standards, and from that standard they have decided country into tier 1, tier 2 and other part. India lies in tier 2, that means those countries which do not meet the minimum standards, however they are making significant effort to bring themselves into compliance of those standards. Traffic in person, recently in our parliament some trafficking bill is also pending, so you can see India in the tier 2 country, tier 2 watch list also, then tier 3 country. Children with the child soldiers also, you can see some of the countries that they have mentioned, Afghanistan, right, Iran. So this was the TVPA Act I was talking about, that is from the US itself. Okay, so Victim of the Traffic and the Violence Protection Act is a federal statute aiming into law in 2000 by US Congress, signed by the President Clinton. So just remember, it's not an Indian act, it's an US act, on whose criteria they are deciding the trafficking in the person index. Next is World Investment Report, really important report. UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and the Development. Now UNCTAD itself, it's a permanent intergovernmental body established by the United Nations General Assembly in 1964. Okay, its headquarters are in Geneva. It's a part of UN Secretariat. It supports developing countries to access the benefit of the globalized economy more fairly and effectively. Okay, suppose developing countries to access the benefits of the globalized economy more fairly and effectively. Okay, so India was earlier on the 9th position. Now we have come on the 10th position. We replaced by the Spain. Okay, so now we are the 10th country. First is USA, host country for FDI inflows. So the FDI inflows in India grew by 6%. The FDI flows have increased. However, we have lost the next one. The World Investment Report said the global FDI inflows slid by 13% over year. But in India, we can see a developing country, right? So, and also the opportunities have increased in India for FDI. So that is why the FDI has increased in India. Okay. Next is very important report from mains as well, in quoting the population figure of India, future population figure also, World Population Prospects Report. So it is given by the UNDESA, that is United Nations Department of Economic and the Social Affairs. UNDESA, that is United Nations Department of Economic and the Social Affairs. Okay. So India is to be, it is saying, UN panel saying India is to be a most populous nation by 2017. Okay, 2027, most populous by 2027. Okay, India is expected to overtake China as the most populous nation in coming decades. While absolute population in India projected to rise, the growth is expected to slow down. Okay, so obviously our growth rate is declining. In fact, some of the southern states, the fertility rate has gone below 2.1. Okay, however, overall, because our base is very large and still the growth rate is more than 2 overall India, 2, right? So because the north states are growing around 2.5, 3 in fact, some of the states. So overall absolute number is huge, so that is why the population will be increasing, but growth rate has decreased. Next is in Economic Performance Index, released by International Monetary Fund, that is IMF. Okay, so Economic Performance Index is a macro indicator to measure the state, national and global economic performance. From the name itself, macro indicator to measure the state, national and the global economic performance. Next is Traffic Index. Traffic Index is TomTom, released by TomTom, an Amsterdam based company. Again, that same trick, not by any specific organization, big organization, released by a Amsterdam based company. Why it has been news and why it's important? Mumbai, the most congested city, 65%. New Delhi, 4th most congested city, right? And that is the reason. Biggest improvement in the Jakarta in the Indonesia. It's a GPS based study on the traffic congestion. Okay, no traffic and beat the traffic. Next is Global Economic Prospects Report. Okay, semi-annually by Economic Prospects on World Bank. So now that is where you have to keep financial stability by IMF and economic prospects by World Bank. This is, you need to take, like these things you need to take care. Okay, small, very small things. Next is Progress of Women in the World, Women Words 2019 and 2020, Families in the Changing World. It is released by UN Women. Some very important insights that they have given, that they have said the role of family in the changing world. The role of family itself they have defined. Right now, you can say that the Western world is talking about the role of family. Okay, and then they have also talked about the changes we've been brought, the nuclearization of the families, both the parents working, the value creation in the children. A good report can be used for the mains content. Families in the changing world. Okay. Next is cyber security related internet security threat report by Symantec. Symantec, a cyber security company. I think you must have heard of the Norton, right? Norton antivirus. So cybersecurity company, it is India is the third most. Uh, the the data itself shows, their report shows that India is the third most vulnerable country in the terms of the risk of the cyber threats, that is malware, spams, and the ransomware, due to inadequate cybersecurity infrastructure in India. Okay, and you can see the terrorist attack are like it is said, cyber warfare is the next level of warfare, right? Cyber threat, as we increase, as we integrate more and more into the cyber thing, the more and more we will get the idea of the more and more we will be vulnerable to the cyber threats, right? And also their own capabilities are increasing, cyber criminals. That is why we have to be very vigilant about it. Okay. Next is, so India is the third most vulnerable country to the cyber threats. Next is SDG gender index. So released by just remember SDG index. Okay, so don't think that it is by any particular organization. It is by an equal measure 2013 independent civil society and private sector led partnership. Okay. Last time we did SDG India index, remember? In detail we have done that. So first ever index that measures the strides made by achieving the gender commitments against the internationally set target. Okay. Against the internationally set target. So they are measuring the strides. Index finds that no country has fully achieved the promise of gender equality, and that the global average score of overall global average score is 65.7 out of 100, which itself is poor, right? So basically the index sees the SDG from the angle of the women. Okay, and index finds that no country is doing really well. That's a matter of concern as well. Methodology, so basically score of 100 will says that it indicates the achievement of gender equality in relation to the underlying indicator, right? SDG we have different indicators, right? So if you get 100 score, that means on that particular indicator gender equality is there, right? A score of 50 would indicate that we are halfway to that point, and the average score of 65 around. India's rank, so India rank is 56.2 only, very poor, below the global average. Though we score good in health and hunger and energy, this much is not important. I told you, important stuff was only because that's by an NGO, right? Too much detail is not very important. Next is end of childhood index. Okay, so Save the Children, a non-profit organization, a non-for-profit organization is there, Save for Children. So end of the childhood index is a part of the Changing Lives in Our Lifetime global childhood report by Save the Child organization. Okay, so Save the Child organization, a civil society. Okay, so India ranks 113 out of the 176 countries. So India ranks fourth among the neighbors on the end of the childhood index, fourth among the neighbors. So China is better than this, Sri Lanka is better than this, Bhutan is better than we are India, poor position of Pakistan. Next is female work and labor force participation in India. So UNDP in association with IKEA Foundation. I've done it, I've kept it in the international because released by UNDP. It is focused on understanding the continued problem of the lower labor force participation in India. In fact, the labor force participation in India, really big problem. For the last 3 years, it has been in the news, and various steps government is taking to address the problem. According to the World Bank, India's labor force participation has fallen historically from 20 to 30% in the 2017-18. I think it was around 36% in its peak from 18 to 11, 2008 to 11. And obviously, rural female labor force participation is significantly higher in the urban areas. Why? Because of the feminization of the agriculture. Now there also the distress is increasing, so the problem is faced by the females not getting work in the rural areas, and that is also impacting the cumulative impact on the overall declining the labor force participation rate of women. Okay, so these are the international indexes. Now we will check out the Indian indexes. First Indian index we're going to see, very interesting index report, in fact, every day giving in India report. So how much people give as in the terms of money to every day. Very interesting story. So Sattu Foundation, it's a by the Sattu Foundation, it's a first of kind study on the everyday giving ecosystem in India with the support of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Rohini Nilekani Philanthropies. So basically it's a philanthropic study. So key finding, harnessing the potential of the billion givers for the social impacts. For the social impact their philanthropy is doing. Okay. So first there are some interesting conclusions. So only smart percent of the India's everyday saving goes to the NGOs. Only small percentage, around 3,500 goes to the NGOs, small saving, right? Making it merely 6% of the total philanthropic contribution. So to NGOs only 6% is going. This is one of the findings of the everyday this report. Okay. And one more thing was that only I think 10% goes through formal channels, and all goes through informal channels. Next is Prison Statistics India. So who will be releasing that? That is NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau. Okay. In 2018, it tells about the prison type, prison occupancy capacity of the prison. One concept has came into right 2 years back. It's already there in many of the prisons in country, open prisons, and in the mains it can be relevant, but not too much from the prelim perspective. Next is social developmental report. So, okay, so this report is biannual report. In 2 years it is being released. Okay, so uh, council for the social development, CSD, releases this particular report. The report gives a picture of the social conditions prevailing in the country, ranks the state on the basis of social development index developed by the council. So social development index is also released by this particular council. This book itself, you don't find the PDF. I tried to buy it on Amazon. It's around 1,300 is the price of this particular report. So what the report says that the economically progressive states are not necessarily the one that do in the social development. So economically progressive nations necessarily are not very good in the economic progress, does not translate into social development. We have already those reports from Metas and Preference from the economic survey, where the economic survey says that the prosperous states like Punjab, Haryana, we see a lot of problem of sex ratio. In fact, more poor they perform on the Metas and Preference. In fact, the sex, that is the sex ratio of the last child, SRLC. Okay, so while Uttar Pradesh and Haryana have high per capita income but low social development, Kerala and all these states are opposite, high social development but per low capita income. Next is Fiscal Performance Index. Okay, so this index is released by CII, that is Confederation of the Indian Industry. Is the India has constructed using the UNDP's Human Development Index methodology. So HDI methodology has been used of UNDP by this particular CII organization to release the Fiscal Performance Index. Next is Niti Aayog report, that is Healthy States and Progressive India. So Niti Aayog with World Bank and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, it's releasing this particular report. It ranks states and the union territory on their health outcomes. It's a health index based upon 3 domains, that is health outcomes, governance and information, and key inputs and processes. Okay, healthy states and progressive India. So Kerala tops, no surprises there. Kerala tops the best performing states in the health. Okay, so highest is Kerala. The indicator, we have indicators. So those are the three. For example, these three will be these are domains, right? Now between those domains, the indicators will be different. So indicators include neonatal mortality, immunization coverage, case notification rates, and all these. With the help of the World Bank and the Ministry of Family and Health and Family Welfare. Next is National Freight Index. So National Freight Index is not released by any government source, by an logistic startup, that is Revogo. And why it's relevant? Because now India is on the verge of releasing it logistic policy, national logistics policy. The draft has already been released. Now they're just finalizing the final policy also. Okay. Now we have seen the Indian things. Now we'll see committees in the news. First committee is BNC Krishna committee, very old committee, not very old committee, but 2018 committee, and a question on the mains has already been asked, and it will remain in the news for the foreseeable future because data is the new oil, right? So it has made far-reaching recommendations based upon the it has taken cue from the GDPR, that is we'll discuss in the next class, that is in the um, European Union program of data protection they have just recently come up with. So on the recommendation of the committee, the bill has been created, personal data protection bill. However, the bill is, BNC Krishna himself says that the bill is divergent on the from the recommendations on many points. The specifics of the bill are, I don't think that are relevant for prelims because that is still at the bill stage. Two more committees have been formed by BNC Krishna. He has headed two more committee. That is, one is arbitration and conciliation bill. Now that act has already been passed, 2016 itself, 16-17, and second was on the FSLR RC, that is Financial Sector Legislative Reform Council, and far-reaching recommendations BNC Krishna committee has given on that. Relevant for mains, not relevant for prelims. That is UK Sinha committee. Former SEBI chairman has been, RBI has set up this panel. Remember, RBI has set up this panel, not the government. So committee formed by the RBI recommended a 5,000 crore distressed asset fund for MSME. 5,000 crore distressed asset fund for MSME. UK Sinha to head RBI panel for MSME revival. Okay. So 8-member committee to submit report in the June. They are trying to not vote in the June itself report they have submitted. So submit the report. They have said recommended of 5,000 crore distressed asset fund for MSME. Okay. Next is Kasturi Ranjan report. If you have seen the budget report also, I have discussed various steps have been taken to, again for MSME many steps have to be taken, right? Because they are the silent workhorse of the Indian economy, silent engine of the work economy. Kasturi Ranjan committee, that is new education policy based upon the draft by the TSR Subramaniam committee. So with respect to new education policy, we'll discuss new education policy in the next session, governance. So new education policy basically started with TSR Subramaniam. Now next is Kasturi Ranjan finally has done the finalization of that. Next is Bimal Jalan committee. So looking into the size of the capital reserve that RBI should hold, and like after that after Bimal Jalan committee only, the government has decided, because Urjit Patel has allegedly resigned from the governor post based upon this idea. He's saying that by having the RBI reserves, the government is encroaching into the autonomy of the RBI, and that is why it is said that he has resigned. Okay. So Bimal Jalan to propose a suitable profit distribution policy after looking at all the likely scenario of RBI to determine that whether RBI is holding enough provisions and the reserves and the buffers, review the global practices for the central bank in making assessment and the provision for the risk. And Bimal Jalan has recommended that RBI should transfer some of the funds, and after that the funds have been transferred. Okay. Next is, so yes, RBI Central Board accept the Bimal Jalan committee recommendation, I was telling you, right? So RBI Central Board accept Bimal Jalan committee recommendation, approve the surplus transfer to the government. Okay. Next is by Bibek Debroy. Bibek Debroy, we will also see Bibek Debroy later on in our discussion in the polity. He is also the chairman of Economic Affairs Council, Prime Ministers. Okay, so chairman is Bibek Debroy. The recommendation for the beekeeping, some good recommendations he has given. You can quote these recommendations when when the topic of agriculture and the allied activity comes. Okay. So recommendations have been to recognize the honey bee as the input to the agriculture and consider the landless beekeepers as the farmer, so that they can also avail the benefits taken by the farmers. India has 4 major bee species. So these are the details: 2 domesticated and 2 wild species. 2 domesticated species are Asian honeybee and European honeybee, and 2 wild species are rock honeybee and dwarf honeybee. Not important. China ranks first in the honey production. Okay, and the beekeeping is under the National Horticulture Mission. Now we have seen indexes, and now we have seen the committees. Now we'll start with the locations. The first location we're going to see in India is Kudremukh National Park. Okay, if you see the location, this is the Kerala boundary. If you see the impetus video, we have discussed so many boundaries, right? So many national park in this region. So Kudremukh, you can see this area, right, above the Kerala border. Okay, so many people say that Kudremukh, this rock is similar to the horse shaped, right? So why it's too much in news? Because the disappearance of the forest of the Kudremukh. A lot of areas, because that's a eco-sensitive zone, and the Kudremukh is losing a lot of its forest cover. Okay, and that is why it is in being all, like, many times these things are news. Kudremukh is a really important national park also, right? Next is Malanna Sagar project. So Malanna Sagar project, if you see the location, you can see here Malanna Sagar canal, the location in the Telangana state. Okay, so why in the news? Despite Telangana High Court direction, construction work continue in the Malanna Sagar because of the uh, employment opportunity, because they are saying that many ousters had approached the High Court stating that they have lost employment due to project and requested the court to direct the official to provide fair compensation and the rehabilitation. Next is Manjira Reservoir and the dam, again in the uh, Telangana state, Manjira Reservoir, okay, near to Singur Dam. So in the Telangana state, Singur Dam, okay. So Singur Dam level falls below the new low, fall below the new low. So water crisis problem, and that is why we are covering. Okay. Next is Mulla Mutha river cleaning project, that is in the Mulla Mutha, that is Pune, Maharashtra. Okay, Pune and Maharashtra. Why it is in news? Because Mr. Javadekar said the Pune will see clean Mulla Mutha soon, and they have given a gift from the center, that is 990 crore rupee river cleaning project. Okay, terming the Mulla Mutha river as a cleaning project as a gift from the center to the Pune, our MOEFCC minister Prakash Javadekar, that 70% of the first package has already been project have been given, completed. Okay, so river, if you see Mulla Mutha river, this is the river Pune, it is connected to the Pune, that's all. Next is Shri Krishna temple, Guruvayur in Kerala, Shri Krishna temple, right? So the location, if you see, in the very middle of the Kerala, okay, in the middle Kerala, it's there, near here, okay, above the Kochi. So Prime Minister Modi offers prayers at the Guruvayur Lord Krishna temple. It should be covered in culture. In the culture, I have covered this Thullab Haram ritual, similar ritual. Again, I'll just repeat. You can see Mr. Modi and the flowers and everything. Thullab Haram, right? So weight equivalent to Mr. Modi will be offered to the deity, and so it will be arranged. 100 kgs of the lotus flowers have been arranged. Okay, so it's a ritual important offering to the god Krishna, wherein the person is weighed against a commodity such as flour, grain, fruits, and all these things. Next is Kondinya sanctuary. So its sanctuary is in the Andhra Pradesh. Wildlife sanctuary and the elephant reserve, most importantly. An elephant reserve. It's only sanctuary in Andhra Pradesh with a population of Asian elephant, which migrate after 200 years from the neighboring states. So the return of the this Asian elephants to this particular sanctuary. So if you see the location here, Kondinya Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, one second. Okay, the location, you can see the boundaries here. It is Bangalore, right? And it is in the this region, very at the border region only. Okay, Andhra Pradesh. Why it's too much in news? That is, you can see in every story, this every news, any of the man animal conflict with respect to an elephant only. Elephant is an endangered animal. We'll discuss elephant also in the ecology portion. So Andhra's man-animal conflict, jumbos in jeopardy, mystery shroud burial of the two wild elephant electrocuted, no respite for jumbo problem for farmer in the Chittor district. Okay, in the Kondinya Wildlife Sanctuary. That is the problem, right? Man wildlife. If you want to write answer, you can have this quoted as a very good example. Now we'll see some of the international location. First is Changakha Lakhang Temple. Just one second. Changakha Lakhang Temple, that is in Bhutan. So why it's in news? Because it's in Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, Thimphu, right? So very beautiful temple, right? So what they are saying, Bhutan charges, they are saying that Indian tourists have been too much into this temple and they are disturbing. Overall, too much tourism is hurting our ecology. Their argument for the BBIN is also the same, coming out of the BBIN, saying that our ecology is hurting. We do not want to go into this motor vehicle agreement. Too much vehicle coming in and going out. So they are saying that mandatory cover charges per day for all tourists except from India. So this much they charge except from India, Bangladesh and Maldives. So Indians, especially those driving directly from West Bengal through border town, do not need visas to enter Bhutan and account for most unregulated tourists. And in 17, tourists made up of 2 lakhs of the approximately 2.7 out of the 2.7 lakh tourists. 2 lakh tourists are from India only. Okay, as such, that is, government says the country is unprepared for. So they're trying to make it a regulation, charge some money or something. Next is Subic Bay. So where it is? Subic Bay is located in the west coast of the island of the Luzon in the Philippines. The location you can see Subic Bay. It's here. Philippines capital is Manila. Manila. Okay. Small things you must know. Again, Manila, and this is Luzon Island, and that is Subic Bay. So why it's in news? Because in the same month, Manila announced that it would be blocking Chinese firm from bidding for purchasing the Philippines' largest shipyard at the Subic Bay over the national security concern. So China was trying to make some headways into this, now facing some of the resistance from the establishment there, and that is why it becomes a news. Everything China does in the Indian Ocean region becomes a news. 7 Summit Challenge. So basically 7 summits of different continents in our world, in our Earth, on our Earth. Daunting mountaineering feat that involves scaling the highest mountains of each of the 7 continents. That is Mount Elbrus in Russia, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, Mount Aconcagua in Argentina, Mount Cossicuzos in Australia, Mount Denali in North America, and Vinson Massif in the Antarctic. So you can see Vinson Massif in the Antarctic, Vinson Massif in the Antarctic, Aconcagua here in the Africa, then Denali in the North America, Mont Blanc is not there, Elbrus is there, then Everest is there, then Kilimanjaro in Africa, location you can see, and Kozik, this is not there, and Kozicus in the Australia. 7 summits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Discuss all of them. The quest for highest mountain on each continent, and many of people have done it. One of the Indians also did the same 7 summit challenge. Next is Fujairah Port. Fujairah Port. Okay, it's in UAE. So what they are planning, basically, they're planning a underwater sea train from this Fujairah in Dubai to Mumbai. Now, first, I don't know how many years it will take to complete the thing, but Mumbai to Fujairah in 2 hours. UAE plans to underwater bullet train to boost connectivity with India. A lot of money they have. Not only this mode transport passenger, it could also be used to exchange good and the oil exports. Right, very daunting task, but still you need to remember the port for now. So location I was telling you, that is Fujairah port location. Next is Khartoum. So Khartoum is in the Sudan. Okay, 18 Indians feared killed in the gas tanker blast in the factory in the Sudan's Khartoum. Okay, so location of Khartoum is this only, situated on the Nile River. If you see this location, then Khartoum, and this is the South Sudan, and this is Sudan. That is Abyei area. We'll discuss Abyei area, important area. So Sudan divided into 2, South Sudan and Sudan. In Sudan we have seen, right, very conflict wala state, very conflictual state. Next is Golfinho atom gas field in Mozambique. Golfinho atom gas field in the Mozambique. So that is OVL partners agree to invest $20 billion in the Mozambique LNG field. Okay, so basically India, OVL means ONGC Videsh Limited. So we are making this as an opportunity to make some oil and the gas. Okay, so you can see the location of the this is Mozambique, right, and Mozambique's north eastern direction, this field is there, Golfinho atom. Okay, Next, finally, the last segment of our discussion, that is tribes in tribes in news. First is Abuz Marias. Abuz Marias. Okay, so PBGT community in the Chhattisgarh, they are entitled to the habitat rights under the Forest Rights Act. PVGTs are more vulnerable than tribal groups. In 1975, the government of India initiated to identify the most vulnerable tribal groups. Earlier, they were known as PTGs, primitive tribal groups. From there, their name has been changed. Out of the 75 PVGTs, out of the 705 scheduled tribes spread across 18 states and 1 union territory. So there are 705 STs, that is scheduled tribes. Out of this, 75 PVGTs are there. Okay. Now, this was question in the prelims 2019. So, question was, consider the statement about the PVTGs. PVGTs reside in 18 states and union territory, right? Stagnant and declining population, one of the criteria, right? There are 75, 95, so figure is wrong. Many times UPSC is playing with the numbers, right? So, if they play with the number many of the times, and the numbers you have to keep in mind that maybe number may be wrong. And the Irakular and Konda Reddy are included in the list of PVGTs, they are. So if you see third, if you know third, that again wrong, and you'll get the right answer. And this is the way you can, for example, do not know which is right, you just know what is wrong and you'll get the answer. Okay. So these are the Abuz Marias in Chhattisgarh. Now PVGTs, we'll see a bit about PVGTs. Everything about PVGTs for prelims perspective, it is covered. I have covered that. So tribal communities are often identified by some specific signs such as primitive trait, distinctive culture, geographical isolation, shyness to contact. So overall, ST, overall tribes, this is distinction. Along with these, some tribal groups have specific features such as dependency on hunting, gathering for food, having pre-agriculture level technology, zero or negative growth of population, extremely low level of literacy. They are PVTGs. So ST is this, and among those who are more vulnerable, they are PVTGs. From the name itself, it is very clear. So 1973 Debar Commission was there, created primitive tribal groups as a separate category, less developed among the tribal groups. In 2006, they have changed the name from PTGs to particularly vulnerable tribal groups. They have some basic characteristics like homogeneous population, small population, relatively physical isolated, social institute caste in the simple mode, absence of written language, relatively simple level of technology, slower rate of change. For example, the question, what was that question? In fact, stagnant declining population is one of the criteria for determining PVGT's status. Yes, stagnating or the declining criteria, you can see zero or negative growth rate of population. So in this context, 1975 government initiated the most vulnerable tribal separate category called PVTG and declared 52 such groups. After that, they have increased this group to final make it 52, then 23 they have made in 1993, to overall 75 PVGTs are there. So they are more vulnerable than tribal groups. Due to this factor, more developed and assertive tribal groups have taken a major chunk of the. Obviously, this happens. So there is a reservation and the funds to the STs, but only some top cream people in the ST also take all the funds. These people get very less amount of assistance, right? Because of which PVGTs need more fund directly from their development. So we identify these PVGTs and we give directly fund to them. Okay, so bottom up strategy. Government of India designated a procedure to identify that we have seen that the criteria is fulfilled. Now coming to the PVGT, 75 PVGTs, you cannot remember everyone, but if anything is in the news, you can remember that from those things only. For example, in the just one second. For example, these two, this tribe we have seen in the last class, that is Chola Niklian. We have seen these tribes in the Kerala state, Wayanad district or some place where there are also the cases of the Maoist violence is increasing. MP and Chhattisgarh, that is Abuz Marias. Okay, and this is why it becomes relevant. Any tribe that is in use, if it is PVTGs, then it will be relevant for you and important. Okay. Similarly, Rajasthan, Saharia tribes, we will see in the next class. Saharia tribe is really important. Many of the tribes are forced to offer forced labor or begari they have to do. So they face a lot of problems. in Andaman Nicobar tribes are really important: Great Andaman, Jarawa, Onge, Sentinels, and Shorepens. So we'll discuss in detail about these tribes. Just indicative figure is there. That is Great Andamanis, Ongs, Jarawa, Sentinels, and Shorepens. We'll see that each one of them. Okay. So that's the end of our session. Relatively smaller session as compared to the governance and IR, but relative very important session, right? If you get question directly from this, that will be really cash marks for you. Okay. So Indexes Committee plays in news in the tribes, and I will see you in the next class. So just to remind you that we have this impetus and erudite series going on along with our current affair series. Do check out this series and give a final push to your prelims preparation. I hope you have seen the budget videos as well, right? Budget videos are really relevant. The third video is more a main centric video, but you can download the PDF from our Telegram channel also, and the impetus series I was telling. So happy learning. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.